Welcome to the Spotlight Series podcast. I'm your host, Slick Sean. Man, I got the dopest gig in the world. I get to have conversations with entertainers and entrepreneurs and listen to their inspiring stories. You can stream the podcast at spotlightseries.net, watch on Roku TV, Facebook Watch, IGTV, and listen on all podcast platforms. In a world full of darkness, the spotlight is on you. What's good, world? It's the homie Slick Sean, host of Spotlight Series podcast. Hey, yo, this brother right here, he needs no introduction. This dude right here is a filmmaker. He's responsible for films by the name of Veils of Color, The Last Disciples, Buffalo Soldiers, Candy, and now the new film he's working on, about to be coming out, God of Dreams. Responsible for the Isabelle Academy of Film and Creative Arts. Welcome, Jurian Isabelle, to the spotlight. What's up, fam?
What's going on, man?
Man, just living the dream, man. I see you are too, for sure.
Yeah, I've been doing films and stuff since I was like really little.
Yeah, where you from?
I'm from Huntsville. I'm from here, North Side.
Sir, North Side, HSV, baby.
Yeah, all day. I can't seem to. People always ask me like, "Why are you gonna move? Why you gonna do this or whatever? Like, move into a different city or market or whatever." Okay, but I love Huntsville, so I just like live out of here and then just make whoever wants to do films and stuff pay for travel.
That's for sure, man. What got you into filming?
I think it was just something I was kind of like born with. Because like my earliest memories was like maybe 3-4 years old, like recording with my dad's like camera. So I think it's just kind of more so like a God-given gift. It wasn't nothing like I picked up or thought like I could make money off of, or just get into it for hype purposes. It was just like something I always did. So It's even like we found over the pandemic, coronavirus lockdown or whatever, we was watching old tapes because my dad was like into like I don't think he was more into film. He just wanted like whatever the hottest on the street. So he was like the first that had like the camera, the little recording camera. Yeah. So it was like a video that he had said he was recording, and I was trying to get the camera, and he was like fussing at me, telling me not to. And I was like really little, probably like maybe 2, maybe 1.5, 2. So I think it's just like something like kind of like a God-given gift thing or whatever.
Yeah. So you basically saying you started when you was around 1 or 2?
Probably like 2, yeah.
Oh man, you came out the womb with a camera, bro.
Yeah, probably like 2 years old.
Yeah. What was your first camera? Like your first camera that you filmed with?
Well, I never had my own camera until I was like old enough to buy one. I was always just use my dad's because he had them like stashed. When we like take family trips and stuff like that, he would record and film and stuff like that. So I would just kind of like sneak and take it and borrow. And do like little stuff, like little film, like little weird stuff in my room.
Oh, that's all good, man. So you got like 4 or 5 films under your belt. What was your mindset?
I had like the idea for it, like just the title. It's really strange because the title and stuff had came to me like 2 years ago, but nothing was attached to it. It was just a title. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what does this mean? And so for the longest, I didn't even know like what the film was going to be about. I just had the title. And then I started like looking up different stuff about dreams and stuff like that. And then I was like, I don't really want this to be like, because I'm like a really spiritual person, So most of the stuff I do is either spiritual or has like some type of like spiritual like root up under it, or it has some type of like meaning behind it. So like, I don't want this just to be like some random movie about like the worldly idea of dreams. I wanted to actually have like a spiritual meaning behind it. So I was praying about it and just kind of like meditating on it. And this is like no joke. Out of the blue, like, well, the first thing I started praying and meditating about it, and then like God had clearly spoke to me and said, well, some stuff in the Bible about dreams. So I went and I started reading, like looking up, researching different stuff in the Bible about dreams or whatever. And so, because, you think like get ideas about stuff, you like Bible is not like the first source of inspiration for most, for most of the time. So I go and I start reading, and I'm like, I started reading the book of Daniel, and I was reading like how he had dreams, and he like had a dream journal, and he was writing his dreams down and everything. And that kind of blew me away because Like my middle name is Daniel and I have dreams. So that kind of like sparked something. And I was like, this is kind of cool. So I started, like reading more and just like praying and meditating. Still didn't have like any idea about the movie characters, nothing like that. And then like one day out of the blue, it's like the characters and everything just kind of started coming. And so like I started like typing or whatever, and it didn't stop. It would just kept coming. It just kept coming. Like I got so excited. Like I probably was more excited about that than anything before because I felt like I was tapping into something, bigger than me. So like the characters and the story stuff coming for 2, 3, 4 days straight, all the way. Like I had the whole film written script wise, like in less than a week. And that's top to bottom. That's no drafts, everything. So when I finished it, at the time, Candy was getting distribution through Urban Flicks. So I knew something told me, like when I get that script, it's like, this gonna be a test. So it's no lie, as soon as after I finished writing the script, I get an email from the guy from Urban Flick. Well, he's the CEO of Urban Flick. He was like, we want to set up a call for you. And I was like, here you go. So I was talking to my homeboy Joey about it. I was like, Joe, I think they're going to try to ask me to do a whole bunch of stuff for this Candy movie or whatever, like different sequels and stuff. Like, because Candy, like, boom, like they released it and it just went like crazy on social media and became like their number one.
I saw that
movie and all this stuff or whatever. And so when I finished this, like I knew God had gave me like the idea to do this movie. And I knew this was like a test to see like, okay, what you finna do is you finna like money grub and be like, saying for yourself, or you really gonna try to make this vision happen? Cause, And so here gonna phone call and they, we love Candy and we thinking about Candy 2 or Candy 3 or Candy the series and all this stuff or whatever. And I'm like, wow. I'm not completely opposed to it, but I just wrote this film and I need to make this film or whatever. And it was like, oh, just send it over. Like, we'll take a look at it. We really want to start a working relationship with you, blah, 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 blah. So I copyrighted it. And then I sent it to them or whatever. A week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. I didn't hear anything. So I told Joe, I was like, I'm finna hit them up because they got my script and I know how the industry works. Like, people will steal your shit. So I was like, what's up? Y'all gonna make it or y'all not gonna make it? Like, what's going on or whatever? Why don't you think about selling us the rights to the movie first and then we'll think about doing some future work or whatever. Thanks for no thanks. Bye.
They wanted the rights to your movie, Candy?
Oh, my God. So, and then that really kind of hurt because it's like, that's what they wanted that from the jump. It's just, they were kind of like entertaining this whole idea about helping produce this new one to try to hook me in, to get me to do it or whatever. So then I told Joe, I was like, well, Joe, I'm going to make it anyway. I have to, like, they got the script. Who knows who's reading it, who's doing whatever. Like, now I got to make it really because, it's kind of out there or whatever in the industry. It's not like you just give it to somebody local or give it, to like somebody is like people in the industry. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, we got to make it now. So he was like, I'm going to help you. So we kind of set out to do the impossible. This movie, I wrote it with the mind of having a budget behind it. And I didn't think I was going to be forced to make it on my own. So it really was a test of faith to even start the process because it was way bigger and way more kind of involved and daunting than anything I had did before, really. Because usually I write things in a way that I could shoot it myself because I really don't depend on other people to do something. I try to make it so I can at least try to do it myself or whatever.
Yeah.
I know I can depend on myself.
Exactly. If you can't depend on nobody, you can depend on yourself, right?
You can push yourself. So this was like way out of, I was like, oh my God. But, I was like, I just got to have the faith. He gave me the vision to do this. I feel like I passed the test. So he gonna give me the provision to make it happen. And sure enough, like one day it was just like, I felt God say, had a casting call and I did it. And we got like submissions from like all over the country. And like, these are like real actors, not just like, people who want to be in the film. I mean, we got those too. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I like working with non-actors, but for the level that this movie was at, I knew it needed a certain amount of involvement and dedication from the actors as far as emotion and just like different stuff or whatever. And we got blessed with an amazing cast. It ended up being beyond what I ever could imagine as far as like the story and the acting and people really bringing it to life. So I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, this is God of Dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. Man, that title itself, man. Hey, that title is super dope. I remember when you was doing the casting calls, I was like, man, I'm in Atlanta. I can't even make it. I sure wanted to come out to one of your casting calls.
What happened with it was a lot of it was we had to do virtual because of COVID. So it was kind of like the perfect storm. I'm thinking like it would be harder with COVID, but it actually ended up being easier because even talent-wise, we got a lot of people that probably normally would be harder to get because people were like looking for work. Like at the time we shot, production hadn't picked back up yet. So it was like still super locked down as far as quarantine and stuff like that. So we were able to secure like a lot of really dope, talented people because, you know, the studios and industry hadn't really opened up yet. So now it's kind of like back on the, you know, it's picking back up. But at that time, it was like people were still like, you know, kind of locked down or whatever.
Yeah. So how do people check out all your films that you've done? How do they purchase them or check them out?
Well, Last Disciples is on YouTube. Bells of Color, I haven't released it. That was my first film. And Candy's on Urban Flix. You can still watch that on Urban Flix. And Buffalo Soldiers, we haven't distributed that yet either. But you actually can watch Buffalo Soldiers if you subscribe to the Academy. We got like a streaming service. The Academy is like a fundraiser to raise money for the kids to have like different stuff here at the school. So if you Google like Academy Plus subscription or Isabelle Academy Plus subscription, you should see the link to subscribe to it. You can watch Buffalo Soldiers on there, as well as some stuff that the kids is making because they make dope stuff too.
I bet, man. I bet they getting some good content out there for you for sure. They're learning from the best. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, but they're really talented, like in their own right. So really, I'm just kind of like giving them guidance and pointers and tips on like how to do it. Because they remind me a lot of myself when I was like in high school and middle school, like just raw talent, natural God-given talent. And, you know, you just really just trying to figure it out because, I mean, we in Huntsville, so it's not like, you know, you can just go down the street and be exposed to like the industry. So, but yeah, they're super talented, and I'm really proud of them. Like they do a good job.
Yeah, that's dope. So let's talk more about the Isabelle Academy of Film and Creative Arts. What was the motive behind starting that school?
We always did community stuff, me and my brothers and, you know, friends and stuff like that. We were always doing stuff in the community. But every time we did something, it was always like we had to start from scratch because, you know, not having the backing, not having people like in your corner immediately, you have to try to figure out ways of making stuff work, kind of getting out of the mud. So I was like, we got to find out a way to have like some type of home base we do this community stuff where we get like, you know, work out of, because every time it was just like starting all over. And so, and then in conjunction with that, I always wanted to go back to, because I went to Johnson. And we had like the production class called JTV. And that's kind of like really what my safe haven when I was in high school is like, I could go there, be creative and kind of like really find my voice as a creator, like what I wanted to say, like what I was interested in, what I wanted to do. I know how important that was for me. And also the resources as far as like, you know, friends or people in school who have like the same mind as you, how important that is as a creator to be around people that you can work with, bounce stuff off of. So I hit up actually Miss Watkins and I was asking her, you know, do they still have it at Johnson? And she was like, well, no, I don't think so. I think they're trying to, you know, kind of get some stuff going, but it's always the wrong time. School system at the time was going through crazy stuff. Like this is when Wardinsky was here, the superintendent, and he just pretty much flipped everything inside out, upside down, moving teachers to other schools and taking a lot of programs out of schools. I mean, it was just crazy. And so he's like, each time I tried to do it, something was going on with school system. So I was like,
Right.
well, maybe it's not meant for me to do it in the school system. Maybe this is something I should be doing outside of that, just on my own or whatever. And then I started thinking about it. It's probably better because as a creative person and a spiritual person, I don't want anybody telling me what I can and can't do. Like
Right.
that's like the last thing I want to hear is you tell me something. If you tell me I can't do something, chances are I'm going to do it.
Definitely would have been some limitations with the school.
Exactly. Like, you don't like that. Especially when you're in the right. Now, limitations if you're in the wrong is good. Like I said, there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. But if you're in the right and if people give you limitations, it's like it's almost few for me like to do it. So I was like, it's probably better that, we're not, under any supervision or, not to say we won't in the future, but at least starting off so people can see like this is what it is, and not have to compromise like your belief or creativity because somebody is nervous or scared or fearful about what's going to happen or whatever, which is the wrong attitude to have in film.
Yeah, I know, right? So what about the documentary that you did? I had a chance to sit down with you and chop it up with you for the documentary. When is that coming out, or what's your plans for that?
Oh, with the Huntsville music. I just saw how things were changing in the city, and I just wanted to document as much of the city before whatever, like they talking about this growing and all this stuff in 5 to 10 years, you're going to be able to recognize it and people moving in. And I'm pretty sure the Huntsville we know now is not going to be the Huntsville 5 to 10 years from now. It's going to be like completely different. So I want to make sure we captured like the culture before whatever happened, somebody doing music or whatever blow up in 10 years and they think they invented culture in Huntsville. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
And it's like been going on, like even before I came on the scene, like people like 5, 10, 15, 20 years before I even was born, people were trying to build a culture and build the city up. So I just felt it was important to have those stories and have those narratives. I don't know when exactly. It's still a few people I need to get filmed actually that they really are essential to the story. So I just tried to take advantage of during quarantine, like everybody was at the house.
Right.
So I was like, even people who were out of town or different places that came back home. So I was like, this is the perfect time, to try to start collecting like all these stories of different people who had a hand in pushing the culture in the city forward, because it's like everybody just builds off what, the last person did type of thing,
Yeah.
So I just thought it was important to try to start capturing that. I don't know when exactly I'll be done with it. Like I said, it's something I'm not really in a rush to really get out. I just want to make sure we get the stories and that it's told right, and the right people get the right accolades for the work and stuff they put in to really build a scene up here. And,
yeah.
Well,
definitely appreciate you for doing that, man, and telling that story, because you're right, man. 5, 10 years from now, somebody may blow up and think they put Huntsville like wasn't nobody doing nothing before they was.
Exactly, like it was just like a wasteland, like
right.
And that's the thing about like music and art is like it's very ego driven. So people are really quick to like take credit or want credit. And I think that's one reason why, people do want to get on or put the city on, quote unquote, so they can like take all the credit. But for me, like, I don't really see it as being about that. I'm more so about like, what are you saying? Like if you get a platform or you get an opportunity on a national stage or these days, international stage because of social media and whatever, like anybody anywhere can see you. It's like, what kind of messages are you putting out there? Like, what are you saying what are you getting behind message-wise? What are you endorsing?
Yeah.
As a personality, as an actor, as an artist, as a filmmaker, like, what do you feel like is important to say? And I mean, I'm not here to judge whatever is you want to say, you want to say, but I just feel like for me, I kind of like want to do like the underground work, and kind of like do like, what I hope is the good mission, as far as like putting certain positive messages out there and spiritual messages out there. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, you definitely doing that, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's very inspiring what you're doing for sure. So when can we catch God of Dreams, man? When does this come out? You got a release date for it?
Not yet. I want to make sure this is like my baby. So I'm really like super predictive of it. I just want to make sure everything is done right as soon as possible. My hope was that it would be out by the end of the summer. But I just got like a really dope composer on board. It's like he's super dope from St. Louis. This guy named Dave. It's just gonna be like really different from anything we've done before, you know. And I really just want to make sure like it's right. The music behind it is gonna be like different and like very like next level. Yeah. So I'm just like excited about like the whole kind of wave that, you know, it's finna take as far as just like, you know, trying to just put like some positive energy out there. Cause it's crazy out here.
It really is. Man, there's so much going on in Atlanta right now, man. Just all kind of stuff going on.
It's like, it's a crazy time. It's an interesting time, but it's a crazy time.
Yeah, you know? It is. Both. It's a conundrum, you know, what we got going on in these times.
For sure.
So what's the best part of filmmaking to you, man? Like, what do you get the most out of filmmaking?
I think the process of it is like what I really like about it. In addition to like, we already talked about like, you know, doing stuff with meaning and purpose. But I think the process, I think it's two things. The process of creating like, almost like you create like a whole world. Well, for me, like this is like the type of films I like to do. I can't speak for everybody. I don't know what everybody like to do. But for me, as a filmmaker, is like creating these worlds and these characters. And it's like, almost like an escape, you know, It's like an escape from reality, almost kind of like the escape that you have when you watch a film, like you kind of like get absorbed in this world. It's like, it's like they're creating it, you know, it's like that times 10 because like you're seeing how things really are, like the reality of stuff, you know, whether it be like a house that you rented or like a band or just like what, like you see what it is in real life, but then just to take it and add in like these characters and set decorate. Like my brother, like David, super dope with like created like real places that the characters are living in, like water, like almost drunken up water bottles, like a third of the way full, and like just like the little stuff like that you kind of create in a world that the people, that the characters are living in, and you breathing life into it, you know, just doing that. The act of creation really is like really, I mean, at the core of it is like really what it is. Like you really creating like worlds, and for those worlds to actually mean something or like have purpose, for me it's like, you know, it's the best. So it's the process of a creation, and then also the effect that the creation has on somebody watching. So like, this is like yesterday, I was just happy to be on YouTube, and I was like, let me go see, you know, I try not to read comments. I try not to get too into the good or bad, because I don't want to, I just try to like stay focused on the work. But I went on there and I was just reading like the comments of like the effect that it had on people, like spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And it's just like, you really changing people's lives and perspectives off of like something, you know, it's probably the same thing as musicians, you know, like as far as like you do a song and somebody say, well, this song kept me from committing suicide, or this song got me through somebody's death, or this song gave me the, you know, motivation to go out there and do, you know, something I always wanted to do. Is just like the immediate impact you have on somebody you don't even know is like really, really powerful. And for it to be a positive impact and not a negative impact, you know, because it could go either way.
You're right.
Just like you can inspire somebody to do something positive, you can inspire somebody to go ahead and do some reckless.
Man, for sure.
Like, the responsibility, and people and artists kill me when they try to say like, well, it's not my responsibility to be a role model. It's like, we want all the positive things that come with, you know, doing it, but nobody wants to take the responsibility, you know. So I think that's funny, like
the accountability, you know.
Exactly. Like you can't separate yourself. Like, you can't separate yourself from your work. Like, it's impossible. People try to, and they like, well, this is just something I created. I have no responsibility, but it's a part of you. Like, unless you're a robot,
right?
Pieces of you are in
it's
it.
funny because I feel like if you're an actor, you're not held under that same light as a musician or artist. Like if Denzel go and shoot up like 40 something people in a film, and then you talk about shooting all kind of people on the song, it just seems like they don't correlate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because it's with theater, like, I think it's two things. I think one, with theater and film, like, people expect you to become somebody else or something else. So it's kind of like an expectation there that this person is becoming something, even though they might just be themselves. Like, there's plenty of movies I see actors and then you see them in real life, you're like, they ain't acting. Like, that's just really dope. But it's just the expectation you have for somebody to become something else, I think. Whereas with music, especially in hip hop and R&B, it's the exact opposite. Like, the expectation is that you're talking about something real and something that's really going on and something that you've done or seen. You don't look at it from that, from that film perspective. Whether that's fair, I mean, I agree. Like, because I feel like to a degree, music is kind of fantasy too. It's kind of like an illusion too. But the line is very much more blurred there than it is in the cinema world.
It is.
As far as, what's real and what's not real. But I agree with you. I think, but I also think we have a responsibility too, to, as far as actors, when Chadwick Boseman, when, Black Panther, when he passed, the stories that came out about him, like, not taking certain roles or not buying into certain stereotypes, I didn't even know that about him. Like, I just thought he was a cool actor, but you start really seeing his character, like, come out from people talking about him after he passed, and I was like, wow, like, that's really commendable. So while it's different as an actor, shooting him up, kill him or whatever, you still have the option to play those certain roles and put out that certain type of energy or not. So it still comes down to choice, whether, either way, either medium you go to, whether you're going to do certain parts, especially if you're talented. Like, if you've got a God-given talent and you're very persuasive with, they'll get all to start shooting people. You want to go get you a gun and go to, you know what I'm saying? Just because you're just that talented and you have that much influence, it is something to say about that. I feel like you still kind of have, like, a choice to make, and like I said, you can play either way. You can say, oh, this is a job, it's a check, I don't got responsibility, I'm not a role model. Or you can kind of like Chad did, like, pick up the torch and be like, yeah, I'm talented and I know I'm good, but I'm only gonna lend my talents to certain things I feel like are gonna uplift my people or, the human race in general, and not be a detriment to, people, So it's all about how you look at it and what you kind of like, where you kind of see yourself in it. I can't really do it either or.
Yeah, it was real when he said that, man. When I was like, what? Like, I had so much more respect for him.
Oh yeah.
Not that I didn't already, but just that much
it just
more.
makes you look exactly. It just makes you look at the person and the work in a different light. Like, you just respect it more.
Yeah. So have you pitched any of your movies to Netflix?
The thing about, like, I was like, one of the biggest illusions about the industry in general is like this whole thing of exposure and getting paid. That makes sure it's the same thing in music. Like, it's that business, the music business, the film business. Like, I would love for it to not be a business and you can just make films all day long but people look at this stuff as like a business. So as a platform, you could get your film or whatever on a platform but not be getting paid nothing. But it's on this platform, so it's the illusion. People look at it, even now, like, people look at me like, oh, I know you own it, you get it or whatever, because it's doing this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, sometimes the opportunity doesn't equal compensation or payment or whatever. And you can say, oh, it's a step to the next thing. But at some point in time, you'd be like, okay, I got to make some smart steps.
Yeah, them steps gotta be big stepping here, you know.
At some point in time, I'm not saying that's got to be what your mindset when you first start off, because I don't think that's true. But as you work, you have to make, like, you know, with my situation with the people, like, you have to make career decisions that you feel like are going to be the best for you, because you have to. I feel like you have to be really strong about what you will and want to do, because if you don't, people in this industry are taking advantage. It's unbelievable. It's just no end to what people would do to get over.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's shocking.
No end at all.
It's shocking the mentality that some people have, you know, as far as it's some of it's just unbelievable. And I'm not to say like I wouldn't mind being on there, but like whatever the opportunity would be, it would have to make sense. You know, Netflix is a great platform and I would love to be on there, but I just want us to be able to get, you know, a decent deal, you know, not to say you got to get hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, but you just want to be treated fair, you know, and that's one thing that if you don't play by the rules, which I'm kind of like on the outskirts of the industry, you know, like I'm not really playing, you know, I'm not really the path to go. I'm kind of like trying to carve something completely different. It's not like you just get in the studio and you working your way up and you get in bed with this person or that person for a favor or that's a completely different world, you know, but it comes with its own rules and regulations, and it's got a whole setup. You know, it's not just as simple as you just go here and you're gonna do this. Like they got a whole culture like this completely, you know what I'm saying? Completely different from you just being on your own, being independent. Just like with music, it's the same thing. Like it's a completely different world doing independent music than you being on a label and having to deal with politics and having to deal with who moving up what and who doing what with who for what and the amount of money somebody getting or not getting. It's crazy. Like the industry is just crazy. So if you go into it thinking like, you know, people gonna be as nice as you are, like you're gonna be hurt quick because people they just want what they want at the end of the day. And as a business, that's cool, you know, but I'm just that person where I try to treat people fair. The people I work with, the people that work with me, I just want whatever it is done to be fair, you know, which is not the industry. That's not, and it's not businesses in general, you know, it's just like not business. I mean, sad to say, but life is just not like that for the most part. So, you know, it's a tough task, but I'm up for a challenge.
Right. You know, for the most part, it's all about blazing your own trail. And then like a lot of people, they think about, they equivalate success to money, but a lot of times, success comes first, you know, and the money is just a byproduct of being successful. So
you're exactly right. And then also just like managing, you know, whatever success you get on whatever level, it's just like managing money wise, is managing what you have. And if you have to reinvest back in yourself or actually put up the money yourself for a film you're doing or a project that you're doing, it's frustrating to a degree because people look at it and think it's something that it's not, you know, and I know it's not because I see it. And then my job is to create something from nothing. So I know the reality of how stuff is, you know, so, but you know, it's part of it. It's part of the allure that people have to get in the industry. You know, it's a part of the process, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, you keep doing your thing, man. You got a great backing and following, man. I see you got plenty of resources, man. So I wish you all the blessings, man, and all your endeavors. Give us some words of encouragement for people that young person with their little sparkle in the eye, trying to get on in the field of what you do. Give them a word of encouragement.
I don't really like advice, and that this is because like, I can only go by my own personal experience, and my experience definitely is not going to be their experience. But if there's any advice, I would just say keep God first. Stick to what you believe in. Don't let people persuade you to do stuff. If you do something, do it because you want to do it. Don't have people make you doubt yourself and your talents to have something work in their favor, and you still end up losing. Don't do that. Like, be strong about what you will and won't do. Because there's always gonna be another opportunity. It's not gonna be the same opportunity, but it'll always be another opportunity for you to do something. You don't have to sacrifice what you believe in or your morals or whatever. Don't be afraid to believe in yourself and trust in, what you have. Don't talk to a lot of people about what you want to do. If you want to do it, just do it. Pray about it first. And if it's in God's will, just do it. Unless they try to give you money or back you some type of way. Like, it's no reason for you to try to, doubt something that you really strongly believe in, because chances are people not going to care. I mean, that's sad to say, but people don't care. That's just like, unless it directly affects them, like, they don't care what you're doing. Yeah. So, do that for sure. Invest. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself, before you reach out to anybody else. Like, that's kind of funny when I be seeing people like complaining about people not supporting them. It's like, but they not even.
How much are you putting in yourself, right?
Yeah, and it's like, you're not even like, you got to be first. Like, and that really, honestly, that really determines a good idea or a bad idea. Like, if you get to put 5, 10, 15, 20,000 into something you're doing, like, you're going to think twice. You're going to think a couple of sometimes about what you're doing, opposed to just like out here,
just throwing something out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely that. And I say just keep God first. And I'm a spiritual person, so I'm always going to, be on that. And I say I'm perfect. I'm just like everybody else out here fucking up and, doing, but I try to keep God first in whatever I'm doing project-wise. Because I know the type of stuff we do is like damn near impossible. So without him, like, they don't gotta work. Like, these movies don't gotta be done. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a blessing really to the amount of. It's almost like having a baby. Like, the amount of stuff that could go wrong. Like, you got like everything working against you. Mm-hmm. Like the amount of things that have to line up for it to happen is almost a miracle. You know what I mean?
Like hitting the lottery, man. Almost.
Oh my God. Like, seriously. Like, from concept to actually finishing the film, the amount of schedules that have to line up, people that have to be involved, people who dedicated that's not going to drop out in the middle of your main character just drops out in the middle of your project. Like, then what do you do? It's just like the amount of things that have
dealing with the attitudes and personalities, man.
Oh, the egos. And like I say, in this industry, that's what you're dealing with. Unless you get really sweet, like, talented people. Like, I've been blessed with some really great people to be a part of and a lot of that come from casting, just having discernment, like I said, and praying about like what you're doing. Lord, please bring the right people in place to make this, because bad attitude, you're right, bad attitudes and egos or somebody's spirit bad, that junk of
it'll spoil everything, man.
It'll seep out and you turn around and this person is saying this is going on, and you like, it's like alternate realities.
That's a good way to put it. You're right.
Like, completely, like, and I've seen that happen too. But you just have to kind of like stay who you are. Don't let people influence you in a negative way. And eventually they'll see if you're a good or a bad, character-wise. Eventually it's gonna come out. Like, you ain't gotta worry about that. Like, if somebody not doing you right, or whatever, money-wise or whatever, like, eventually you're going to find out. Like, you ain't got to try to, defamate somebody's character. All you got to do is be patient and wait and see, to see, like, if it's but unfortunately, like you said, you have to deal with a lot of negativity and, like, a lot of different people in the industry. You just have to stay who you are. And eventually people will see, if you stay who you are and stay of good character and good cheer, eventually people will see, like, oh, I guess I was wrong or whatever,
Yeah. Man, that's dope, man. Well, I appreciate you for stopping through, man, taking time out of your schedule, man. I know things are jam-packed for you. Thank you, man. And I wish you all the blessings on everything you do, fam.
You too. You as well, man. Shout out to your podcast and the opportunity here.
Man, I just want to let you know, in a world full of darkness, man, the spotlight is on you, fam. Thanks for watching Spotlight Series Podcast. I'm your host, Slick Sean. You can follow on Facebook, Spotlight Series Podcast, on IG, spotlight.series1. You can stream the podcast at spotlightseries.net, watch on Roku TV, Facebook Watch, IGTV, and stream on all podcast listening platforms. In a world full of darkness, the spotlight is on you.